Water is fluid, soft and yielding. But water will wear away rock, which is rigid and cannot yield. As a rule, whatever is fluid, soft and yielding will overcome whatever is rigid and hard. This is another paradox. What is soft is strong. Lao Tzu. Across the globe today, most of the population find themselves trapped in a rigid structure, a world where they must fit into categories. They must stick to fixed schedules, and most of all, they must have a life plan. They have solid ideas about how things work. They follow the mainstream media and are guided unquestioning by its information. This inflexible position is a way for the general population to make sense of an ever-changing, chaotic world. Rather than embrace change and explore new ideas or concepts, they decide to remain rooted to their safe place, feeling that a structured, categorised way of thinking gives them clarity and focus. However, did you know that thinking in this rigid way can stunt your spiritual and social growth? Consider this. If you feel the need for constant order, your life will become predictable. This is safe and it may soothe you. You have a family meal on the weekend, you attend church or a sports game on a certain day of the week, you watch your favourite long-running sitcom on Netflix every evening. Yet, once you've got into that pattern, how will you ever experience anything new? You may only be 20 years old, possibly younger, and you have already limited your possibilities to develop a higher consciousness, or, on a basic level, you have stunted your opportunity to discover the wonder of the world around you. Trapped in your own box, viewing the world through a framework. Many people are stuck in their ways, and as the world changes around them, this inability to go with the flow creates issues. A new or different experience is often perceived as an inconvenience, anxiety-inducing, or simply irrelevant. In contrast, people that are able to accept the fact that the universe is constantly changing have a better chance at being happy and well-adjusted. They do not see change as the enemy. Instead, they embrace it and create ways to solve problems that arise. Very much like water flowing in a river. It finds there is a boulder in the middle of the channel. It simply moves around it. And if the rock is bigger than the water level, blocking its path, well, water takes time to seep into every nook and cranny, and eventually, over time, it can wear the boulder down and pass over freely. If the water needs to find a new channel, a new way to move forward, it's not just the water that changes. The environment around it is also changed. This is the same for a person. If you have a challenge to overcome, you will develop new perspectives and abilities. Your personality will change, and therefore your actions, as well as your interactions with the people around you, such as friends and family members. Continuum progress, always striving to move forward, is what has brought humans to where they are today. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu was an ancient Chinese philosopher. He is best known as the author of the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching, along with the Sungasi, is a fundamental text for both philosophical and religious Taoism. Although the text's origin is often debated, we do know that Lao Tzu played a great part in writing it. His philosophy has inspired and helped many millions of people over the years, and so, in this video, we will show you why being more flexible in your daily life will bring you great benefits and can ultimately make you happier. Taoism teaches about the various disciplines for achieving perfection by becoming one with the unplanned rhythms of the universe, called the Way or Tao. In this way, they defer to nature and how other living things adapt to the universe. Taoist ethics vary depending on the particular school of thought, but in general, they tend to emphasize Wu Wei, which is action without intention. They focus on naturalness, simplicity, spontaneity, and the three treasures: compassion, frugality, and humility. Think about it. Nature in its purest form, at the very start of life on Earth, had to change to survive. It had to accept what was happening around it and develop ways to continue to exist. The opposite and equal reactions that must be undertaken and accepted to prosper are a fundamental part of Taoism. Looking at life in this way, you will see the two forces known as Yin and Yang, feminine and masculine. They are commonly referred to as positive, negative. As you can see, the black and white symbol shows the two forces existing alongside each other. The circle that the pair create is whole, without any gaps or corruption. This is the concept of dualism. It's very much in relation to our Vortex Math series of videos, where we explain that the numbers 3, 6, and 9 control the universe. Changing one part of the combination has an impact on the other. Yang is a masculine, active principle in nature. It's often displayed in restlessness, activity, speed, excitement, aggressive tendencies, and being an extrovert. As part of this, it also carries the association to dryness, hardness, and being stiff or unmoving. In contrast, Yin is the feminine passive principle in nature that is exhibited in darkness, cold, or wetness. It's often displayed by introverts, quietness, softness, and flexibility. Yin combines with Yang to produce all that comes to be. Currently, our lifestyles idolise and respect the Yang aspects of society. We want bigger, better, and faster all the time. Whether it's food, cars, sex, sport, we crave excitement and excess to feel fulfilled. You can see this on social media and politics. Standing your ground, unchanging opinions, challenging a perceived enemy, antagonising a situation, and entrenched anger at opposing opinions, these all well up to create an intense toxic catalyst. This is because our society lacks dualism. It lacks the ability to recognise that change can bring strength. Yin aspects are often looked down upon in society, and historically they have been seen as weaknesses. For example, changing your views based on new information can trigger Yang followers, as they see this as backing down, not recognising that it's actually more progressive and beneficial to explore new ideas and different possibilities. If you look to nature for an example of why never changing is detrimental, you can quickly see that rigidity causes damage. Take a dry, dead branch on a tree. It has stopped growing. It is no longer flexible, and from the outside, it appears as all the other branches. Then, when a gust of wind, a change comes along, the dead branch breaks. It cannot bend and accept the wind like the other branches. It forces itself against the change, ultimately destroying itself. As the title of the video suggests, water is the prime example of change being beneficial. Look at the nature of water. It is resilient. It can be changed into many different forms: solid, liquid, gas. Every day, it goes through the cycle of evaporation, condensation, and even freezing. Yet, the water remains. It has not been killed. It has not been broken. It endures. Be like water. It is said that the softness of water physically adds strength to all living beings. Animals and plants take in water, and the liquid hydrates them, making them flexible and capable of surviving situations such as during movement, drought, or injury. Think of that dead branch. It is dry and dehydrated. If it had just taken on a little water, maybe it would not have snapped in the wind. As we mentioned before, Rigidness does not come in just the form of physical attributes. We can also experience mental rigidity, the unwillingness to change or accept the possibility that there are different ways to complete a task or different opinions that may be more inclusive or efficient than your own. Just like a dead and desiccated object, a dead mind cannot absorb new information. It cannot mould and change when confronted with something that challenges it. In this way, a stern and stalwart person will stand their ground, even when faced with overwhelming evidence. Examples of this negative Yang influence can be seen in corrupt politicians, racist, authoritarian rule, self-serving, greedy businesses, and on a general level, you can witness people living only by Yang principles all around you. Maybe it's the grumpy store owner who refuses to employ young people because he thinks they're all lazy. Maybe it's the woman who believes all men are monsters and refuses to open up herself to the possibility of finding a friend or a lover. There are countless depictions, and each one holds an unhappy aspect, whether you can see it or not. Do you have the patience to wait until your mud settles and the water is clear? Lao Tzu. There are many forms a body of water can take. A calm, peaceful lake where you have the time to be still, contemplating your progress and quietly resolving issues that may arise. Or your body of water could be a river. This maybe is the best analogy for life. We can look at the river as life's journey. The meandering bends, the twists and turns across the landscape, these are the small and medium challenges that a person faces in their life. Manoeuvring around a boulder or slipping over a waterfall into a new stretch of water and a new environment. A drastic change in course, maybe slipping into a crevasse or bypassing a rocky headland. This represents a huge change in life's journey. Maybe moving to a new country, ending a relationship, giving birth to a child, something that is extremely significant to you. Then, as most rivers or streams do, the water is discharged into the ocean. This could be a slow, seeping crawl into an estuary or a loud, splashing torrent. Either way, it represents the end of life. Yet, remember the water cycle? Your particular journey may be over, but joining the rest of the water, you wait to be warmed by the sun, turned into water droplets in a cloud, carried on fair winds back to the land, where you can start your life's work again, renewed. The wise words of Lao Tzu have resonated through the centuries, despite often being ignored. Can you think of examples of kind and humble people who may not have been recognised in life but have since been immortalised? These quiet, accepting people follow Yin principles, and they usually create the most change, such as secret millionaires who donate to worthy causes, people during a war who help refugees start new lives, people that rescue animals, caring about animal welfare and choosing kindness every day, choosing softness. All streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. If you have enjoyed this video and you're inspired by what you've seen, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Let's change the world together.